going at it, bro. It look like he want that capital of Kyiv. It look like he want that. He want it. So
Yeah.
It don't look like he playing.
I mean, you see other people getting involved. Do y'all see other people getting involved? Like, how bad y'all see? How big or how many? Do you see other entities getting involved? Do you see this getting solved between them two?
China step behind them like the big brother, like, yo, let him fight.
Yeah.
What America was thinking about doing something,
Anybody else jump in?
Don't jump in. They did say they didn't like how Russia was handling it though. I thought that was cool. I showed that to you on that. It was cool that they tried to get everybody on the phone and was like, look, go about this a better way. That shocked me, like you said, China chose. They said, no, we on this side. And in their defense, they kind of chose in default. They was like, look, NATO is y'all thing. That's a the West thing.
Right, we not even recognize it.
Yeah, like, that can rock over there. Out of respect, like how we just talked about the sovereignty, the big brother, little brother thing. It's like, out of respect, we have to rock with Russia on this. That law came. And now, if Europe would have had a law to stand on that, they might have sided with them. They like, y'all can't make that call here. Like, y'all stay over there. So I thought that was cool that China at least defended that move and was like, look, we gotta do that. But even if we're gonna stand on your side, do better. We don't want to see y'all go to war. We want y'all to get on the phone, handle it quickly. Putin, I mean, hey, it's up.
I do like the fact that their like leaders is speaking out.
Yeah, like that's big. That's.
I don't want to get a wrong country, but an Islamic country, one of their leaders has spoke out and said something about it too, condemning Russia.
Yeah.
And how they thought about the situation.
Yeah. I like that. How do you feel about that?
It's a bunch of talking going on.
I mean,
it's smoke and
diplomacy.
It's smoke and mirrors. You feel me? That's how I feel. Like,
so what do you think they're hiding in? If you think it's smoke and mirrors,
I think.
What do you think is really going on, or is about to? I should say, if not already. Or do you think it already happened? Like I was about to say, or do you think it already happened? Like if you think the grand move is just Ukraine getting took over, if that's the end all be all.
No,
then
if Putin, like I said, if Putin really wants Ukraine is going to fall. Like nobody is going to jump out the window. Nobody gonna jump out the window over Ukraine. You feel me? Like as far as like I always tell you, like nigga, you show your people show their hand. You feel me? Like you can use whatever word you want. Russia has invaded Ukraine. Like they are in full scale war over there. Like people's response has already been given. Like we ain't sending like hella people over there to really stop some shit. Like we sending you bread, we sending you well wishes. You feel me? Hope that
for now,
good luck.
It could escalate.
Certain things have to happen.
That's what I'm saying for now.
I was about to ask both of y'all. What do you think certain things have to happen? I agree, but what do you think?
Ukraine in itself is not enough of a force for Ukraine is not going to start a war.
Agreed. You say?
I say like if Russia handles something wrong, it could escalate.
Handles what wrong? Like they already
like
you just said
like
everybody
nuclear
condemning
weapons,
them saying
things
they
like that.
wrong.
Like if nuclear weapons, like immoral war crimes, like I don't know, it get deep, but I do think it could escalate into other people getting involved. Like if something ain't handled right.
Negative.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I don't think like the condemnation of Russia is like being anti-Russia. It's still at a point of neutrality because I feel like every world leader is kind of like, yeah, we're anti-invasion. Like we don't support the invasion of any country, but I don't know. There might come a time where Russia is like, you're either with us or against us. Like, pick a side.
We don't. Of course, we don't support invasion of nowhere. Like, but how deep does that go? Like, we just gonna say everybody. Y'all just keep saying y'all happy. Everybody getting on TV saying we condemn them, but at the end of the day, people are over there actively dying as we speak. Like getting shot, bombed on, whatever. And to your point, like, if they nuke somebody, then everybody gonna get involved. They already been breaking rules, and as far as the Geneva Convention is concerned, they've been deliberately killing citizens and everything like that. Like I done seen all of that happening already. So it ain't nothing like that that's gonna get everybody involved. And then they not about to like nuclear bomb Ukraine. Like that's not their intention. Like we're not trying to destroy the land that is Ukraine. Like we're trying to have them under our rule. You feel me? Like if I want to ride, if I want to steal your car, so I can make some money over it. What good is it gonna do me to throw a grenade in your car and to destroy the car?
Right.
I mean, what good is that gonna do me?
Right.
That's not the intention.
But
I don't think that's gonna happen.
You don't know. They might have to go that far and rebuild it. You never know.
I could see that in its most likely scenario being a threat for a country not in Europe. Ukraine is literally, it's like Las Vegas threatening to nuclear bomb Reno.
Right.
Like if Las Vegas was a country and Reno was a country, a nuclear bomb on y'all would come right back to us. They like geographically,
It's not going.
this is the extent. They gonna kill more people now. They could drop bombs on them. Yes, I could see that.
Yes,
but I'm in nuclear war, like how Putin threatened that. He more so threatened that for countries not in Europe. Yeah, like
y'all that's not right here.
Yeah,
y'all can get it.
All of these countries are neighbors. Like Germany, like the big ones,
Right.
Germany, France, the UK, they are all neighbors. They are all right next to each other.
Right.
None of them are pressing each other like, we will nuclear bomb you. They gonna let like, that's like me slapping myself. Like, you not gonna bomb, you not gonna do none of that. You might come bomb us, you might come shoot stuff, you might do all of that. You ain't nuclear bombing us. I think in that, like he was saying, that is unlikely because Putin only does it if anybody else gets involved. If nobody else gets involved, we kind of only watch Ukraine suffer, and it's wrong. But are we in position to stop it? What would we rather? I don't want to see no American men and women go over there. Personally, we got a history of that, but stay over there. So it's tough. This is a real catch-22. You know, like, do you go up over Ukraine? No. That would be irrational. But historically, like, the world then went up over stupid stuff. That's scary. Does that change your mind a little bit about it potentially going up, being that the world has gone up over stupid stuff? Nothing. It's like, oh, they historically been willing to take it there. I totally agree with you. I am 99% sure we will absolutely stand on these sidelines. We're going to look and watch and say we offered a helicopter. We offered 10 helicopters. That's it. They ain't doing nothing more than that. But that 1% chance is like history tells me they'll consider, at the very least, consider going up. How do y'all think? Do y'all think they're at least considering?
History tells me that if you look at the First World War, or many wars, you feel me, like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in all wars,
you talking about America specifically? I'm assuming like our position in the shit specifically, like us coming in, like us like getting fully involved.
Yes.
I'm saying the world in general, or just America.
Us specifically getting involved in this situation and escalating.
Yeah, every world. We never in a war at the beginning of no world war. You know, like we never there.
Literally at the end.
We come in and we shut shit down.
Not even
like
the middle.
Certain shit has to happen. Like it has to be like it has to get to a certain point where it's like, okay, we need to come in and stop this. Like, and that might be smart on our part. We could be sitting back playing it cool, letting y'all destroy each other. You feel me? Like deplete y'all resources. There you go, and then come in and swoop with the most brute force and shut it down immediately. Like, so we could be playing that game where Ukraine, like I said, Ukraine is not gang. Like they not Ukraine is not NATO. They are an ally of NATO.
Right.
Like we cool, but you not like
this ain't that. Yeah.
Well,
you the cool side piece, like
you rock. I ain't gonna let them talk to you crazy.
Right. I'm gonna say so.
Get off my nigga. but am I gonna jump in there and get to man? Yeah, nah.
So y'all think
that nigga got it
Ukraine? Y'all think they just want Ukraine or stop there, or like they keep on going to invading other countries?
It's a geographic thing. You gotta I don't got a map right in front of me. I usually got a globe right in front of me and my little desk thing, but it's a whole geopolitical thing. Like Ukraine is right there on the border of Russia. You feel me? Like they can take Ukraine. Like I said, they're not part of NATO. They're not gang. Like Ukraine, y'all can do y'all thing, whatever. But there's certain countries around there that are part of NATO that are, you feel me, like strategic, like places that we need for whatever reason or this or that. You feel me? So it's not as simple as just you taking over whatever country is right next to you. Like Ukraine happens to be in that terrible position where you're right next to them and you're not in NATO. You're not, you feel me, solidified as one of us. Like you happen to be in that position, but it's not that easy. Just like to just take over the whole of Europe. You feel me?
Yeah, they not going that far.
It's a whole bunch of factors that gotta be in place to make it the right time to do some shit like this. Like, you think they ain't been feeling like this about Ukraine like since the Soviet Union dissolved?
So
they've been feeling like this.
What is a win? What is a win for Russia then? Like for people to stop saying I'm from Ukraine or I'm not Ukrainian. Like what is a win for Russia?
Russia doesn't want Ukraine to be a part of NATO. Like they don't want it to get to that point. Like if we not pushing into Ukraine, like neither is y'all. Like I think their initial demands was one, we don't want them to be part of NATO.
Yeah.
Two, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but they had Putin had three main points of why this is happening the way it's happening. You feel me? Like he does have specific.
He wants to demilitarize them.
He doesn't want NATO to build up.
He want to demilitarize Ukraine though.
He don't want NATO to build up.
He said there were
extra forces inside of Ukraine.
What did he say? He said there were.
Which I kind of get that from their perspective. Like it is it's right on the border of Russia.
Strategic location.
Yeah, like I don't want that right
strategic
next
location.
door to me.
You can't. Y'all don't want us. Y'all condemning us for nukes and shit. You think we about to let NATO come and set up shop? Right here in Ukraine, like we don't got nothing that close to America. We don't got nothing that close to none of our deepest enemies, like
Mexico or something like that.
Yeah, that's like literally. That's like
relax.
Yeah,
Mexico is part of America now.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Shit, they could take Alaska right now if they want to.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm saying, like
theoretically.
Yeah,
Canada could. What if Canada start tripping on?
Nah.
I'm just saying.
Canada has one of the weakest armies. That's why they're the most peaceful. They wouldn't even think about it. They are a safe haven for war. Like people go there to relax.
They would never do that.
I'm just saying we talking about borders.
That's not even an option.
We talking about borders though. We talking about borders like.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a hypothetical.
Russia could try to press Canada, but they coming right on our turf. Anywhere you step foot,
he talking about Canada flipping on us.
Talking about Alaska's ours. It's right here.
That's not even
ours now.
That's not even like a hyper. You can't even.
That's talking borders though. They talking borders.
Canada
is around changing borders.
It's an equation.
It's gonna be a problem when you're trying to change.
It's an equation of borders times power times. You feel me?
Right. Arms.
Because
remember, they have one of the smallest armies of any major country in the world. Like the last thing on their mind is pressing anybody. They wouldn't press a city. Like they wouldn't. They probably would lose to a city.
Yeah.
Like a small
Canada
police
versus
force.
I'm just saying theoretically, what if the U.S. and Canada was really fighting?
Nah, it's not.
Don't mess with Texas.
America wouldn't allow Canada to take up arms in any manner if they had any animosity.
Yeah, we don't even need to entertain.
It's not even a conversation that you had. Like we are America.
They will not.
You're not even. You don't even It's not even.
Big countries are reluctant to press us.
Canada. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Canada will put you in jail if you said that.
That's like us
for inciting violence.
That's pretty much what
I see that analogy. Trying to make
Inciting
an
a riot.
how close it is, but and just leave it at that. It's an analogy for how close borders it is, but that's it. It's not like. Yeah, it's not.
Canada will ask politely to enter the country to invade somebody.
Can we please invade you guys? No. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm great.
The prime. What Canada got a prime minister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Trudeau. That's Trudeau.
Yep.
He got on TV for 2 seconds. He got on TV. He got on the. He got called a press conference. Got on the microphone. He was like, "Yeah, we don't rock with that." You feel me?
Yeah.
And that was it. You feel me? He don't got nothing else to say about Putin. You feel me? Like that's it. Like leave us over here. Like we gonna do like everybody else doing. We gonna condemn it. We don't fuck with that. But Never mind us though. We just up here doing our thing.
Have you ever heard that story about, or not the story, but like the conspiracy theory that Trudeau might be Castro's long lost son, like Fidel Castro?
Really, I've never heard that.
They showed like a side-to-side picture of him, and then like a story came out that
That's some internet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Castro took his mom out this one time.
I mean, how old is he?
He's like probably in his 40s.
Castro was a grown man in like the 50s. Who knows?
Yeah.
You feel me? Hey, who knows? But I doubt that.
Yeah. I think the craziest
Shout
thing.
out to Castro though. He really wanted to go. We people don't know. They make him a villain. Castro's wanted to go.
Shout out to Castro.
I don't know. So I had that.
Bro, man, go see. We turned America turned him into a villain. He was what we thought like Obama. You know like how the world was like, oh my God, Obama like that thrill. That's how he was.
I heard he was like a great leader.
He had a lot of wives, and that's why I'm like, who knows? He did have a lot of wives. He had a lot of kids, but he was an actual great. He was a dictator, but he was great. He was doing his thing.
That's a bad thing.
Huh?
That's a bad thing.
What?
He had a lot of wives, a lot of
No. Not at all. I'm just saying, like
That just makes the case more.
yeah, it could be true. Like what he's saying.
Trudeau.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think the craziest thing about this war, I guess we could call it a war officially.
Yeah. Sure.
This invasion is that, you feel me, like the world that we live in now, like the social media age, like I've been seeing most shit that I need to see, you feel me? I told y'all last week I had deleted Reddit, but I'm right back on that motherfucker, bro. I'm talking about, you could see everything going on over there. You feel me? They was arguing at the time of it was staged or fake or whatever. I don't know what y'all was saying, but I'm talking about, I'm seeing videos of the Russian military like going over there, like Ukraine busting back, use bodies, you feel me, being laid down.
That stuff's
shit blowing up, and all of that shit is on video.
Did you see that little ray gun?
I guess
that shoot like red lasers.
Those are the anti missile thing.
There's a name for it. I forgot the name, but yeah.
I forget what it's called.
What was that, stingers and shit like that?
Bro, these things, imagine, so you don't even know what the thing looks like. You only see it shooting in the sky. It literally looks like an automatic weapon that shoots 50-foot lasers. Yeah. I mean, like, imagine literally an automatic weapon going
That's that technology.
50-foot lasers flying out of the sky in a straight line, curving. I have never seen anything like this. I couldn't believe it existed until like last week. I was like, whoa.
Can we talk about the economic impacts of the sanctions that would happen to Russia that we put on them, and how that would kind of weigh them back in this war?
I don't know how heavy it would, only because they don't conduct business primarily in dollars. They conduct, one of their biggest trade partners is Russia. China. So like that means something when it comes down to war. We don't have to turn our economy into wartime where now everybody's shutting down and doing this thing.
Okay.
So them freezing assets, I'm sure somebody is affected by that. I'm not acting like that. They are completely okay. But I feel like Russia could continue living even as America has done this, because they don't really depend on America. Remember, America buys its oil not necessarily from Russia, but Russia is one of the largest suppliers to where America buys its oil from. So they're not really trying to make this a beef between America and Russia. I feel like those are more so things like we want to look like we're trying to help.
That's what
I think. I could be totally wrong on that, but that's what I think. Like
most of the sanctions have it's not an immediate effect.
They did say it would take time.
It would take like a decade or type shit to even see the
result.
But if enough countries place sanctions on Russia, though, it can have a sizable effect on the economy. But at the end of the day, like they gonna it's chess, man. Putin already planned for everything. You feel me? Like we know, like y'all gonna put sanctions. Like we already prepared and planned for that.
Mm-hmm.
From our standpoint, like it's like I said, the sanctions is really more of a show than anything. Like yes, it does have implications over a certain amount of time, but it's more of a show than anything. Like if we really want to stop something, like we gonna step on something. You feel me?
And then was kind of like halfway with the sanctions because it was like, oh, we're gonna freeze your accounts, but you can still be on the SWIFT system.
You know, they trying to stop the SWIFT now, but
They escalated them.
they trying to stop the SWIFT.
But they didn't. Why are they trying? What's this trying?
A lot of sanctions are predetermined. You feel me? So now we have to like pass like a legislation or whatever to do it to stop the SWIFT. Whatever. Most of those sanctions or whatever that is imposed is it's already like put in place. Like if they do something, like these sanctions are already in place, that we can just start imposing them.
Right.
So anything extra like the SWIFT or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. But like as of today, but as of today, what's today? The 26th. Mm-hmm. Russia's still on the SWIFT system. After a few days of invading Ukraine, so they still not completely cut off the SWIFT system, which is like would be more severe sanctions.
Yeah, that would be the most severe sanction, pretty much, that you could do.
That's what I'm saying. What I think y'all opinion on that?
What that they're even threatening to do it?
Not threatening to do it, but like that's giving them sanctions, but giving them like, I will give you some
patty cake sanctions. Yeah. I think that I'm not even mad at that. I'm gonna keep it real. I would want to look like the country that said, yo, that's wrong, but I weighed the options and I definitely can't do anything about that. It's not even about nothing else. Like America like to play protector. This should be one instant where they really just face it and go, look, we either do this like damned if you do, damned if you don't. If we press the whole world over Russia invading Russia, pretty much, like over Russia invading Russia, do we press the whole world to start World War III? Because that's literally what happens, because there are agreements where they said if they jump in, then it's up with us too. And then they said that if they jump in, then it's up with them too. If it really gets that far, literally the world ends. The alternative is to let Russia invade Russia and stand on the sideline and go, Russia, man, chill. Like, that's all you can do. Like, it's not even about opinion at that point. What do? You don't send people over there. You don't send bombs over there. You don't cut them off the... We cut Iraq off of the SWIFT system. So, and we were in war with Iraq for years by the time we did that. So, with those two scenarios, we would have to... Like, I don't see us doing that. Say, if we did that to a country we were in war with for years... I don't see us doing that to Russia, who hasn't necessarily done anything to us. So if they're not going that far, like all you can do is stand on the sideline and just make it look like you care. Because you don't want to fake care, but you want to fake care. You know, like Diggs used to tell us, like, look, when you don't want to go hard, remember he used to tell us to fake hustle? He said, you need to just look like you hustling. Fake dive on the ground for the ball. Because if you look like you're not doing nothing, come on, come sit down. Yeah. You better do something.
Phil used to say,
you better try to get a block. Yes.
He say Phil going 100%.
Yeah. You better do something out there. Otherwise, come sit down next to me. I should be the only one not doing anything on the basketball court because I'm the coach. If you gonna do that, come sit by me. We can be coached together. You're like, he really felt that. So like, that's America. You better do something. You better fake fall. You know, like something, because the alternative, like Putin said, there will be no winner. He said that to the world. Like, look, I'm not playing.
He said y'all will see actions that y'all have never experienced
in your history.
We
have been in like 10 wars, bro.
He was talking directly to us when he said that shit.
Yeah.
You will see shit that you have never seen in your history.
He acknowledged, he said, if Russia ever goes to war, he knows that Russia has no power against all of NATO. The countries that are in NATO could destroy Russia in an instant. His problem is that he don't give a fuck.
We gonna kill each
He
other.
said it. He actually said it. Y'all got more than us. Y'all will bomb us. We'll bomb y'all. There will be no winner. He left it there. Like, and I had a conversation with this, and I was like, that's the realest thing he could have said. It was cool that he didn't come in and like, we gonna do this, that, and the third. He was like, look, I know what the risk is. I know. We gonna bomb them. Y'all gonna try to defend it, and then we gonna bomb y'all, and y'all gonna bomb us, and everybody dies. He said that out loud. It's true, and I think that's what impressed me. All they do is lie. He went on the world stage.
I think we all of that's true what you just said, but in reality though, the distance that we are from all of that type of shit is very far, and I think people. I mean,
we still the West.
No,
it's all the Western hemisphere of the world.
To the point
bombs
where
ain't gonna take too long to get here.
No, I'm saying we're distant from the point where it gets to that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Actually bombing each other, yes, they are at war over there, but the point where before it gets to the point of us nuking the world together, mutually assured destruction, I think we're still very far from that.
Right.
Like I said, it's everything. It's just strategic. Like you said, it's the fact that they on the border. It's timing. It's the fact that y'all not really in NATO. We know y'all not really gonna dive in head first behind them. We're going to take them before y'all do. Before y'all make them part of NATO, they're going to be part of us.
They're going to be Russia.
You feel me? We dare y'all to do something about it. We know, Putin knows exactly what lines he can push and to what extent.
Right.
You feel me? It's not like this is some out of this world that's going on. No, Ukraine was part of us. You feel me? I'm not doing nothing crazy. Or they not part of y'all. They was part of us. I'm not doing nothing crazy. I'm just taking back what I believe is mine. You feel me? You go as hard as you want to about it. You feel me? If you really feel that type of way about it, you jump in head first if you want to, and we could die about it. But other than that, we taking them, and that's gonna be that. Y'all doing what y'all supposed to do. America, everybody sending y'all aid, y'all sending money, y'all sending. I think Germany sent them some helmets. You feel me? Niggas sending them all types of. Ancillary shit.
Right, a whole bunch of nothing.
A whole bunch of ancillary shit.
They sent them a few hundred anti-tank.
Yeah, we just did. They just did that.
Anti-aircraft.
They just did that, but you feel me?
That's after they've been bombed.
What's the timetable on that? What's the timetable on that? How long does it take for us to just get a tank from here to there? What you think? If you had to guess, what's the turnaround on that? On that support?
At least 15 days right now.
Already going through COVID restrictions. Supply crunch already exists.
A whole tank. If they going straight from the coast to there, probably 8 days a week. They going straight from there.
Still paying some PPE, right? Man, send some PPE. We still got vaccines left if y'all still
right.
At home COVID test.
We just started shipping out the at-home COVID test. We could for sure send that show. No, we're not about. It's not about to be nothing.
You can't send Ukraine Bitcoin though, and Ethereum, and they taking Tether. So, man, if y'all out there want to donate to Ukraine, hop on that. That's a way you can for sure.
Niggas out there dying right now. Nigga, they don't give a damn about your Bitcoin. Send that shit through for sure. Somebody gonna get that motherfucker. Bring your ass, nigga. Bring your ass in here. Come pick up a gun, nigga. Come fight some. Y'all said y'all had us. Shit, I think if Ukraine do win, I think the outcome is they gonna be even more.
That's what I was thinking about.
Even more independent shit. We're not fucking with NATO or y'all.
Oh my God.
Nobody jump in. Then America will press them, and then they fall in. They not defeat two superpowers.
I don't think so.
How y'all feel about?
They not gonna beat Russia, but
how y'all feel about donating to war, funding war, from not only from other countries but private funders? I got Bitcoin, I can send Bitcoin to Ukraine right now, fund their war.
I like the idea of that because historically all wars are privately funded. That's true. You look at the very first bank we ever had in this country was ran by a nigga that was starting wars. His name was Robert Morris. He was the richest man in the world when America first became a country. So imagine how many wars he done partaken in Europe. He come to America and start a bank. So I mean, it's lucrative, you know. So from that aspect, now that we kind of take that power out of the rich hands, you know, the private rich hands, and you put them into the everyday person's hands, I support that. That changes everything. You feel me? Like we talk about the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, like that's private money that's starting big wars, and now my neighbor can help fund this war. Like that's I can't imagine that ever being done in history. Yeah, like I'm on my TV and I can support the war. Like I don't think that's ever been done. Like crypto allows that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's actually really crazy.
That's it, though. I agree with that. That's dope. That's like a theoretical view. Now let me.
That's another.
Yeah, it's too theoretical. Yeah, it needs a lot of money.
But this is the first time in history is actually
that is even possible. That's true. It's a progress.
Okay, now let me ask you a functional.
Unfortunate progress because we're coming through a war, but it's progress.
Let me ask you a functional question. Who Bitcoin wallet you sending that money to? Who you sending that to? Where you sending that to? You have no idea.
Well,
I could pull out the biggest scam in history right now if I want to.
Of course. 100%, and there are scams out there.
Ukrainian war effort.
No, facts.
I seen that headline too. Who do they want me to send that Bitcoin to? Like, who am I? I'm sending it directly to the
I don't even know.
Bitcoin wallet. Like, and then he gonna do it with it.
Well, right now the Ukrainian Twitter with the blue check mark, they posted like their official page, their official Twitter page posted like we accepting donations.
I believe it's true. I'm asking, did they say like, is it to the government's wallet or like?
I don't know who control the wallet, but
okay,
all of that.
It is true.
No, for sure.
All of that matters.
I'm not saying it's true or not.
Look over. I mean, if it make you feel better that you sending your money to some random wallet somewhere, but I need to know, like me personally. You asked me, so I'm telling you, me personally, I want to know where and what it's going to. Don't just send me a link talking about this. You supporting Ukraine.
Well, this was posted on one of their government pages. No, this was posted from one of their government pages.
I feel you, but I still want to know, like more specifically, like.
I'm telling you, it was posted from a government page.
I still want to know more specifically, like who, like okay, this the Treasury Department. I'm about to get y'all the bread, and then y'all gonna do what?
That deep into
we sending y'all tanks and shit for free.
I ain't even donating.
So I wish y'all taking the money and doing what with it, like
absolutely. But it's all on the blockchain, so
okay.
That you can see where that wallet is. That wallet they post, you can see the transactions on there.
Okay.
It's all public information. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm saying, what are you actually like? What is me sending you? Me as an individual, right here, right now. If I send 10 bands to that link right now, what is it? What is it doing for you? Like as Ukraine, like what is that doing for you? Like we sending y'all tanks for free, we sending y'all equipment for free, we y'all weapons. You feel me? Supplying y'all citizens and y'all military with shit. Like, so what is me individually sending you 10 bands doing for your cause? Like, I'm asking. I'm not.
You don't know how long this war's going to last.
I'm with.
You don't know how long this war.
Yeah. I don't know the answer either. I'm gonna imagine an answer.
Your country's in turmoil, so you don't need all the supplies you can get.
And then so next week when Russia completes the invasion and they own you, Kyiv or wherever.
Okay.
Now what? That's Russian. That's Putin money now, or like.
That's why I said. That's why I said. That's a good point. That's why I said this money. This money is under a management or a government management. Whoever got this government posted the address, so it's under government management. That's what I'm saying. What happens after this war? The Ukraine. Nobody from Ukraine no more? Is people gonna say, stop saying I'm Ukrainian? No, that's this money. I don't know, bro. It's like
what I'm doing
right
now
is taking over your government. Fund the war,
Yeah, I'm taking over your government. So that little Treasury Department you had. Thank you. I need that. You feel me? Like now I'm supporting Putin. Now Putin got my team in.
No.
Yeah.
Not with Bitcoin. If you had some gold laying there for sure, they're gonna scoop all that. But not Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Because I wanted to get to this point.
They're not going to be able to get to your Bitcoin and Ethereum.
That is exactly why they are sending them niggas Bitcoin and not gold. We're not sending Ukraine gold. No. We're going to send you Bitcoin. We're going to support you with the Bitcoin. Take as much as you want. You feel me? I'm going to send you 100 million Bitcoin. I'm not giving you my country's gold reserves to help your cause.
Right. We're sending them. Well, I don't think nobody sending them dollars. I know we didn't. We did send them dollars. We sent them what, 300 million?
I don't know.
Biden?
Actual dollars,
Biden passed something to send 300 million in aid.
Okay, for sure. But aid is anything. That don't mean necessarily like we giving y'all dollars. Like
Right.
aid could be.
Right.
Aid is the tanks and shit. Like aid is.
Right.
You feel me? Shit like that. Like giving this bread to your Red Cross or whatever y'all got over there, or giving y'all a tank, or you feel me? Shit like that. So I don't think it's actual dollars. You feel me? But and I don't disagree. I fuck with that. You could send them some Bitcoin. You feel me? I just don't know what the overall purpose is. Like, what if we would have been sending Bitcoin to Afghanistan and they final hours? You feel me?
Right.
Like, where's that Bitcoin now? Type shit.
That's-
I'm not telling niggas not to donate. Please help support. You feel me? I'm fucking with Ukraine. Support. You feel me? You know, it's like that old saying, like, you don't help nobody who don't help themselves. I'm not gonna fight for you if you ain't gonna fight for yourself.
Right.
Them niggas out there holding it down. They doing their thing. So I'm totally 1000% in support of Ukraine. But I'm just specifically playing devil's advocate to the Bitcoin point. You feel me?
I was more not less on the Bitcoin part, but funding with the war part.
Right.
The financing part of the war.
Right.
And now you can publicly not only like countries financing other wars, but privately as a citizen and as anybody funding the war and participating in the finance part of a war. That's how I was coming at it. But
I don't know how does the government take the Bitcoin and kind of convert it into like the actual war resource?
That's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what cause I'm really supporting by sending them niggas a Bitcoin. You feel me? Like,
you just sending them funds, resources.
yeah.
You can't send them no tank, bros. I don't got no tank. I don't got no rockets.
As an individual, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's a fact. But shit,
I can't. How long it's gonna take him to get some bullets out there? He asked for bullets. I don't know how long it's gonna. I can send him Bitcoin right now, though, and he can take that Bitcoin and go buy some bullets.
If you go back even further, I do support them as an individual because I pay taxes every damn year. That tax money is what's sending me.
But I'm just saying. But you get what I'm saying, bro? Like I don't know. I can't physically send him no bullets, no rockets, no stingers. I don't got no stingers.
I say
do my part by paying my taxes.
The
main reason that they'd use the money would probably be to actually give to the soldiers. Not so in war, there's usually we speak hyperbole when we say like it's getting bombed. A country is never entirely bombed. Like one thing, like a thing that set precedent was like when America bombed Japan.
That would defeat the purpose.
That was crazy because so there's a part that is still productive. Even when we was one with Germany, there was a part of Germany's entire industrial shit was left entirely intact after they caused 2 wars. World War I and II literally was caused by them, and we left there everything that allowed their country to thrive. We left it intact. So I say it to say, the part of Ukraine that is productive.
Right.
Still probably exists to where somebody can go get stuff. So the point that I was going to make is how we just talked about Bitcoin, the fact that this is even a thing and you can potentially fund something through an alternative means.
Right.
The paper dollars that came about that way. We didn't start using paper money until right before the Civil War. And we was like, well, we don't got, how we just talked about gold, we don't got enough gold for all of these. So every soldier got a larger claim on gold. We got $300,000 worth of gold. Y'all collectively got $1 million worth of claims on gold. I don't have that much gold.
Right.
Paper currency. Psst, psst, psst. Hey, it spin like gold. It look. Hey, that's what y'all got to rock with. That's literally how we started using paper currency. I literally off the strength of necessity. Hey, because what you're gonna do? Think about it. Abraham Lincoln. So. Y'all know in Forex how we call the dollar the greenback?
Yeah.
That's where it came from. Abraham Lincoln signed that as legal currency, so then we went from using gold, and I just made paper money. I legally signed it as money. Now you have to spend it. That is $5. You was used to 5 gold coins or whatever the math would have been. Right. Now you got 5 paper dollars. That is $5 though. Yeah. So it's literally spending like gold. Right. So in the point of like Bitcoin, somebody directly is probably gonna get that money. It probably won't be an entity. They probably can send that to an entity where it's dispersed directly to soldiers, and they buy food, clothes, new boots, like whatever. How we just talked about aid. Aid never covers whatever you need in a war. You know, like whatever aid you get, if it's $300 million, they might need $1 billion, you know? Like, who else is really sending them that much money to where they can go fight off Russia, one of the biggest militaries in the world? You know, $300 million gonna last you a couple days. If a tank costs $10 million, that's 30 tanks, right? You know, like 30 tanks with $300 million in aid, and then we done. Yeah. Russia gonna blow those 30 tanks up tomorrow. You know, so they need whatever money they can get. So like how Julian said, like, we don't know how long this war could go. Who's feeding these people? You're not just fighting the war. You got to take a break to eat. You know, like I was thinking about this when I was asking a question about the Revolutionary War, and you had brought up, this was a long time ago. You had brought up how like one side is way bigger than the other. We should have lost the Revolutionary War. We were so small compared to the UK, who had the biggest navy in the world. Like, how did we beat them? You know? But it was about how long the war lasted. Right. Eventually, y'all can't keep. Y'all fought on our turf. Y'all can't keep lasting and just fighting. Y'all gotta eat. Y'all gotta take a break. And remember how we talked about the battle of what was the Bunker Hill or something like that, where they got the up on them. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Think about that. You deprived of bullets, guns. You tired. You hungry. These bags is heavy. We in unfamiliar turf, and y'all busting at us like the sky is raining bullets.
All of that is. Have any of y'all ever read The Art of War?
Like,
Sun Tzu?
I read pieces of it, never start to finish.
Oh man, I done read that shit cover to cover multiple times, dog. Like all of that shit that you just said is all in there. Shit, like all of that shit matters. The territory you fighting on, the resources you have.
Like, yeah,
you feel me? Like
Bitcoin could go get all of that shit. Like
you sending your people from your land to our land. What happened when niggas was coming to America, to colonial America? Like niggas getting diseases.
Yeah, getting fucking sick.
Y'all losing. Y'all come over here, y'all losing.
Yellow
y'all not
fever,
for this.
Right. This ain't
y'all
y'all.
not prepared for farm either. Like, they're not used to the terrain.
Yeah, they don't know shit. Either going to Africa or coming here. I don't know nothing.
Losing.
Like, nothing.
Losing.
So yeah, I think Ukraine could benefit from something like that. Like if it's done correctly. Like obviously this is all theoretical. This plan could totally be screwed over and mishandled, like all things happen in life. But if used correctly, I feel like them even having some money that can be redeemed for something else, that helps them fight longer. You know, like, all right, we down 10,000 men, but we just got some money, you know, like at least y'all could eat, at least we can go get new boots. You know, niggas gonna be running these same boots for 2 weeks. Them boots gonna be shot, you know, like you need some new boots. But who makes those boots? How did we go get those boots? Right. You know, like the economics of little stuff like that we never really think about. Bitcoin would serve a purpose in that regard. Like I said, if done correctly. That is a very big if, especially how we just talked about cyber attacks and all that. Like that is a very, very, very big if.
Right.
But
war is different now.
There's faith.
Far different.
Yeah, it's different. China been on that since '99. They admitted they wouldn't win a physical war with America. They started operating to win a digital war. They admitted that in '99. Swear to God.
Ain't no rules in fighting. Ain't no rules in no fighting. Ain't no rules in no fighting, bro. Like, we gonna
got that. We got this.
Man,
that's more devastating too. We could shut you down without you looking.
Right.
Literally without you not seeing it.
Right.
Like we just talked about the naval bases we got in the middle of the ocean, sitting there doing nothing. Those could be sank simultaneously within however long it takes for those things to go underwater. Let's say it take 10 minutes for that whole big old thing. Mm-hmm. All of them in the world would get obliterated and put underwater in seconds if China was to choose to do it. Now all those people, all that money we spent on naval ships, gone. It literally, and we didn't even see it coming. Literally, you would not see it coming.
All the drones.
That's where war is at. Like, you wouldn't even see it.
Yeah,
That'd just be hell to pay, but
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll be hell to pay.
You know, yeah, for what it's worth, it's like getting punched in the face. I'm gonna punch you back.
I don't think it's as simple as pressing a button and the ship's gonna sink. Like, you can press a button and all of our radars and shit like that turn off. But the second we get that, you feel me? The second that happened, before we go down, y'all gonna do that, and then y'all be able to bomb us and shit because we can't detect nothing coming.
Right.
But the second that happens, like, nigga, we launching everything.
Y'all
not just blowing this boat up and we not launching. We not shooting everything that's on this boat. We gonna shoot everything on this boat.
Never sweet. That's one thing I love about America. We not sweet. We going don't get it twisted. We mishandle a lot of stuff. We got a lot of issues. But it's not sweet over here, and that's never been.
Another reason why I think that's another reason why we don't really see, or we not probably gonna see ever war on our like home front. You feel me? Like the one thing about America that every other country, like, we like citizens, we got guns.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, you're not just running on our land. You feel me? And the citizens is just like, oh my God. You feel me? Like, I can't believe y'all here. Like, you feel me? Like, no, like we gonna die. Like, Americans gonna die. Like, you feel me? Like,
Do you think Americans would cause an American war though? Because like the Civil
Like a
War was
Civil War,
Americans
you
versus Americans.
yeah, that's
like,
the definition.
I
of
fought
a civil
here,
war.
niggas in Missouri was really busting at each other. You know,
Do I
like
think it will be a civil war in America? Like
Could
amongst ourselves?
could it in any whatever hypothetical
Oh,
scenario?
yeah, it done been, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying,
It could be a
like,
civil war.
war could happen on
Where do
this
you think
turf.
that would start?
Them crackers just invaded the Capitol a year ago, man.
I think somewhere with a lot of open land, somewhere in the Midwest, and it's the Midwest. It would be a lot of land, and people could merge.
Civil wars have happened on American land.
But it would have to be
the scale of what the scale of the Civil War can be argued. Like, was it a full out
That's what I'm
super
saying.
everybody against everybody war?
The bloodiest war in history.
But
It could be
yeah,
a war.
I'm saying
No,
that's
it
the
could be
main
a war.
war. But I'm
with,
saying
like,
it's been smaller.
Us
civil
against
wars.
us was the
It's
bloodiest
been
shit
small,
ever.
I'm saying it's been smaller civil wars that
Oh,
happened
yeah,
within
yeah.
America.
But it's
Facts.
different type of wars though. Like
Yeah.
When the Bundy family in northern Nevada, when they tried to take their land, that was a civil war. It might have been a Cold War. I don't think it ever really popped off.
Right.
But the Bundys gathered their whole family, and they was blocking off that whole. You couldn't cross into northern Nevada if you the police, if you a civilian.
Right.
You couldn't get into northern Nevada. When the government tried to take their land, they held it down. That was a civil war. I don't give a fuck what you want to say, but that was a civil war. We in the streets with our guns, like, y'all not taking our land. You
Right.
feel me? Like, that's a civil war.
Yeah.
You feel me? It was a Cold War because it never really popped off. I think it was settled. You feel me? Eventually, over the course of weeks, it was settled without a real issue. But that's a war, nigga. Like, you not coming on my, you cross this line, I'm blowing you down.
The gun.
Americans gonna fight for their land, bro. Americans gonna fight. That's one thing about us. You not gonna land no airplane just in the middle of Alabama or some shit nowhere.
Right, we let it slide. You will get shot out the sky.
Yeah.
1,000 miles away.
By the civilians, though.
Yeah.
By the civilians, though. You
Literally.
You crazy, bro.
Remember the Gersons shot a chopper down.
Right here in the city.
The Gersons shot a whole helicopter off the sky. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Right on the west side.
The Gersons also blew down an entire casino. That also happened. That happened.
Right here
In the casino. They blew down the doors, walls, the whole front entrance was blew down by a gang. They shot down a helicopter.
Nigga, that's
What?
unheard of. That's
With
unheard
somebody
of.
in it? What?
Unheard of. Legend.
Street legends. The guys that shot a chopper down. What? What? That happened.
The scope of something like that really
By
happened
civilians.
in real life is crazy, dog. Like, that's crazy.
Civilians.
Like, in
did
real
this.
life, like, that's crazy.
Right. Go savage.
Savages, right? Criminal.
Criminal. Your neighborhood thug. He was the one that did this. Your local drug dealer said not today.
That's crazy. That's crazy. We wouldn't know what to do if war was really on our land.
Facts.
Bro. Like, that would be crazy.
y'all see that there was gonna in New York they was gonna end the little COVID so Kyrie can play again at home.
Do y'all want to get into this?
What?
This COVID thing. I have my opinions about how conveniently this has disappeared.
Hey, if you with the smoke, I'm with the smoke. We could get canceled right now.
My man.
Let's get canceled right now.
Okay.
I'm with the smoke. Too.
I think No. Let me start by saying I finally know a couple people that genuinely got sick of COVID. To where I was like, okay, it's real. You know, like I'll leave it there because at that point I didn't know personally anybody who died or even got sick, so I can't validate it. But then I knew a couple people and I was like, so that really happened to you? Like those events? I'm like, okay, it's real.
I ain't gonna lie, a couple weeks ago you was telling me it was some shit.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you who.
Yeah, we got.
You found out? Or no, I'm saying
we got.
Okay. She called me 3 times, bro. So what are you doing? Like, wow. But stuff like that makes me think of the severity to certain people.
Yeah.
Now, when COVID was at its quote-unquote peak, we unleashed literally, from any scale, unprecedented stimulus. Like, Stimulus in terms of money, stimulus in terms of help, supplies, like literally from the top down, an unprecedented amount of help was given to our economy, like never seen before.
And no other countries got that much help as we did.
Yeah. Now, okay, as it got worse, they literally did less, and it got worse, and they did less, and it got worse. No, let them tell it. This is their version of the story. It's getting worse and worse and worse, and we're doing less and less and less. If you follow from 2020 to now, that is an absolute chronological fact. That said, how bad is it if you're doing less and less and less? How bad is it that if in 2022, 12 states have more COVID cases than they've ever had, than in the heart of the pandemic, that you're, you don't gotta stand 10 feet no more, it's 6. No, it's not 6 no more, it's 5. The schools just got rid of the mask. Government workers just got rid of the mask. Nobody really needs to wear a mask anymore, but COVID is as worse as it's ever been. But we're gonna make, stadiums opening up, jobs ain't no, go kick it, go do whatever. Right. Restriction free, but COVID is as worse as it's ever been.
Go back to work.
Let them go back to work. Go to the parties with 1 million people in it. No more capacity restrictions.
We begging y'all,
everything is normal, but COVID is as worse as it's ever been.
Right.
I feel like you're being a little misleading, especially considering. Remember, there was a point in February we had 2 flu cases in Nevada. 2. Only 2 people had the flu. Do you know how many millions of people get the flu every year to where only 2 people got the flu? Everybody else either is not sick or has COVID.
You got COVID. They gonna give you COVID.
Only 2 people have the flu.
As soon as you walk in the door, I don't care if you got the flu, if you got pneumonia, if any of them symptoms match up with COVID, you got that too. We give you.
You can Google that, bro. 5 reported that in February. That's a fact. You can Google it. That's not made up. There were 2 flu cases.
That's what I asked.
2.
That's what I asked that homie that caught COVID.
There are 1 million people that live in Las Vegas.
I ain't gonna give his name. I'm like, so what the paper say? Did that shit say COVID on it? What did it say on it? He was like, yeah, it said COVID-19. I'm like,
all you gotta do is follow the money, bro. Like, you think y'all scamming? Y'all think y'all scamming ass niggas was the only niggas who hit a lick on the government?
Facts.
The hospital's been licking the niggas.
Every
they get paid for every.
They don't even say no.
That's the thing. This motherfucker get hit by a bus. And you got symptoms, and we gonna stick this test up your ass even though you can't move.
Yeah.
And
COVID. If you cough once, COVID.
COVID.
COVID related symptoms. He coughed. He sneezed before he died.
If you jumped off.
And we get paid. If we report this as a COVID case, we get paid.
What is it?
If you jumped off a bridge and you had COVID, they'll probably say you died of COVID.
Man, DMX got high on crack and died, and they said he died of COVID.
Nigga.
He literally died of a heart attack induced by crack.
It's corruption. It's money. It's corruption. Like if the government tell you right now, we already know the answer because we done seen y'all niggas scam $1 billion from the government, right. So we already know the answer to this. But if your job right now, you feel me? Your job is to you feel me? You work at the hospital. You a hospital. You in the hospital, right? And now the government, I'm telling you, man, we just secured $1 trillion worth of funding. You feel me? We send out stimulus checks to everybody. Y'all gonna get y'all $1,000, right. But we gonna give you $1,000 for every COVID case that comes to your hospital because we gotta support you. We know y'all running out of beds. Y'all need PPE. We gotta support you. So every case of COVID y'all get, we gonna give y'all a band too. You're not gonna diagnose every motherfucker that walk in that motherfucker.
Right, everybody got COVID as far as I'm concerned.
Everybody. If we can prove it on that piece of paper, if we can match your symptoms up and prove it on a piece of paper that you got COVID.
And the symptoms are so basic. Well, obviously there are extreme ones, but in general, they're so basic. You only gotta pick one. Like I'm like almost literally. I'm not joking when I'm like, oh, he sneezed. He has COVID. It really, from the outside looking in, it seems like it's that. When everybody has COVID, everybody on Earth had COVID at the same exact time. Nobody has the flu. Nobody has nothing else. Everybody in the hospital is only in there because they have COVID. Everybody in urgent care is only in there because they have COVID. Everybody is trapped out in the house, trapped in hotel. Some people were have quarantine in hotels because they have COVID. People are trapped on yachts, cruises in the middle of the ocean because they have COVID cases.
How that work? How you stop a cruise in the middle?
Remember, it was over there for 2 weeks, right outside of, I think, Louisiana.
We can't move because
it was out there for weeks.
How did that make sense? How you quarantine motherfuckers in the middle of the ocean?
Y'all ready to get me home? Fuck
Just left it there.
Yeah.
What? And this type of stuff take away from the validity of COVID. Like I said, I think it's real. But all of this other stuff that happened, it spoils it. It's why there are so many conspiracy theories. It's like, I believe it's real. People really got sick. I don't believe that many people got sick.
Is the storyline that people is gonna believe. You feel me? If you only tune in to CNN for your news, whatever storyline they decide to push, whether it be at COVID is at his work, beware, stay indoors, or it's you feel me, we getting over the COVID, we trying to get back to work.
No mask.
You know, mask, whatever. Like that's all you
mask mandates, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I hate saying for sure that it was all manufactured.
I don't think it was. Like I said, I think it was real.
Right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things around it that just.
I mean, isn't that just how like government and politics work? Where it's like they take something and then run a propaganda with it. Like the same thing we were just talking about with Ukraine. Like every major media source is commenting on the Ukraine-Russia situation. Like Bleacher Report, everybody, and everybody's creating a narrative about it. So I think it's kind of, I don't know. Like I can't ever say for sure because I don't know.
Say what you think.
Yeah.
Get it off.
I mean, no. That's why I think.
That's
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Go down the rabbit hole. Of both in whatever scenario. Like, what would convince you to know? I don't think it was 100% manufactured, but I think it mostly was.
Yeah, I think in the beginning.
What would make you?
I think it was
sure of that.
The cases in the beginning were more accurate.
Genuine. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I believe I'm one of the people who believes that they had this shit before it was even COVID. Like I was diagnosed with a respiratory infection or something, and I had all the COVID
October,
symptoms.
November 2019,
and I had that shit for 2 weeks. Like I was in bed, I had no appetite. I lost like 5 pounds. I was just spitting out mucus. I lost my sense of smell. I was drowsy for 2 weeks. Like I've never been this sick in my life. I went to the doctor. I thought I had bronchitis. It was like, nope, you have some type of respiratory infection. I was like,
some type of respiratory.
I was like,
all right,
what respiratory infection?
All right, which one of them motherfuckers?
I never got an answer.
Open up your doctor book.
Yeah.
Right, let me know.
And then
12 years
months later,
later,
COVID happened, and I do believe in the beginning, especially with all the people who were just dropping like flies from COVID, like I believe that was real.
Yeah.
And then it went into the territory of it's like, okay, we're in a pandemic, obviously. The government is like, all right, let's find a way we can profit off of this otherworldly.
So I got a question. So get back to the finance part of it. What industry do you think most of COVID relief went to? Like
the banks.
The banks?
Banks. That's a fact. That's not even a debate. You can Google it. It went to banks.
As far as banks, do you think
most of it? I'm not saying that's exclusively where it went. You want to know where multiple of the top ranked people are?
We'll say top 3 industries because you said the hospitals. All I got.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I got to write COVID on the paper.
Yeah, I'd say banks, healthcare, and the largest businesses in the world.
So
all of them.
Do you think it went to help the individual, the small business owner, or the individual?
Okay. This is a fact. Google it. Small businesses are the crux of our economy. 80% of all jobs in America come from small businesses. Almost no small business got access to the PPP loans that big businesses got. Google it. Go pull up the Bureau of Labor Statistics and look it up. It is sad. So to answer that, no, it's not going to help individuals, because if it was, individuals probably would have got more than $1,200. Remember, that $1,200 is 5% of all those $1 trillion packages that they was putting out. There are 300 million people in America. Let's say 400 million. All of us, everybody on Earth, there's in America, there's 400 million. Multiply that by 1,200. Whatever that number is, could only equate to half of one of those packages. they put out like 5 multi-trillion-dollar packages.
And even that
Where
money,
did that
money that went to individuals went to the banks too. Because what you do with it when you got it, you put
Right.
it right in the bank.
Where did it get deposited if you didn't get it in a check? You got it
held
deposited in your bank account probably.
And you think
So
the
it
bank
takes
held
them
on
first.
your bread? Hell no, that's not how banks work.
Facts.
Like,
Facts.
They,
So-
they invested your money. Like,
Yeah. So when you
Thank
think
you.
about it like that,
thank you.
it was structurally not meant to help the individual. Now, if we acted like other countries did, we could have. Then all the money wouldn't have went to banks. But we did it wrong.
So what ways?
Nothing got fixed.
What ways could we have changed it to where more money went to help individuals and went
So,
to help small businesses?
Sweden,
How do
South
we fix
Korea,
it
they
like that?
what they did was, so America, we gave all the money to big banks and hoped that they would loan the money out to
To
other
us.
businesses
And to
to
small.
restart debt. And yeah, and they're not
So
necessarily
we want to give the $6 trillion out as debt.
Yeah, that's what America did. Sweden and South Korea, what they did with businesses was go, look, if you're a gas station, grocery store, you have to stay open. That's where America didn't come up with its plan. They adopted it from other countries and kind of pieced together certain parts. So that's where, the essential workers, like the essential workers thing, that wasn't an American thing. They got that from other places.
Right.
Sweden, what they did was they went to all businesses and was like, look, we will pay you to close. We gonna give you all this money, but it's not even a debate that you gonna close your doors until we say otherwise, because this shit bad. Like, it's not even a debate. You're gonna close, but we finna overpay you. You used to making $20 an hour. You finna make $25 an hour for the next 9 months until we open up. So you don't got no complaints. You can pay your bills regularly. Like how we did like the eviction thing. They didn't do none of that. We not finna do an eviction moratorium. We gonna give you enough money to pay your rent every month, and we just leave it there. You know, like that makes all the sense in the world, instead of a company that's dependent on money from people paying their bills. You not giving them a moratorium. Now I'm not collecting money. Now I gotta go possibly get an application so that I could get a little bit of the money to make it back up. The PPP loan only gave you a little bit, right? They only give you 20,000. If I make 100 bands a year and you only give me 20. No, I'm not having that.
Right.
Pay me the whole 100K for me to close my business.
Right.
Don't make me close entirely and make me fill out an application and I might get 20K. I might get a fifth of what I'm used to regularly making. That's where they went. And you're loaning it to me. Now, it's not literally a loan. Like some people can work around the aspect of the loan, but if somebody's going to pay it back. Whereas in Sweden, it was like, no, take this. Close down. When everything opens back up, well, that's what it's for. So that's where they went wrong. They didn't give the money out as loans. America gave it out as loans. Other countries didn't, and it was more accurate. They got 10 bands, 20 bands, shit like that. Got to chill. You said what?
Hey, it's no reason to give out money on every level. You feel me? Like if you disperse the money at the level of the problem, you feel me? You solve everything. Like I don't need to give individuals money if I just pay, like if I say I'm giving individuals money to pay y'all mortgage or y'all rent or whatever, if I just give the owners of those mortgages or that rent the money and tell them not to charge you for the next however many months, problem solved. If I give you the money and then if I give you $1,400, that's 1 month. That's shit. I don't know. That might be more than 1 month for some people.
You still get kicked out your house.
You feel me? And then we telling you you gotta pay back everything that you missed. Like we gonna pause your shit, but you have to pay that shit back. Like it's not like we didn't cancel that shit. We paused it. You gotta pay back this whole past 2 years, 2 years. You gotta pay back all of that.
Right.
So why instead of how about we don't give the individuals money? We just pay them. We pay, you feel me? Whoever you pay your rent, your mortgage to, you feel me? And then you dug with whatever you got in your savings. You know, don't having to deplete your savings or whatever, trying to pay for this, pay for that while businesses is closed. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a lot to go into it.
Who took on the debt that was created from the stimulus?
Us.
Who
That
took
is always the answer. I'm being dead ass here. That is always the answer. Us.
That's what I
Remember,
always told.
how I just said somebody gonna pay that
That
money
money is
back.
not
I didn't
for
want to get into the logistics of it being a loan or not, because like people that apply for the PPP loan, it is forgiven, but somebody is paying that money back.
Yeah, it's
The
no
government
such thing as
is
free
broke.
money, dog. You know,
Remember that. Government broke and the Federal Reserve is broke.
they
That's
don't
the
have
point of paper
income.
money.
They don't have income.
So if they create $1 trillion stimulus package, who is the only? If there is a government, a central bank, and citizens, which one of those three has money?
The citizens only niggas that work.
The citizens, they the only ones with the money, right? They fund all of this upon your taxes, just like you said. So they fund all of this. So if the government who has no money, if the Fed who has no money just printed $1 trillion and not only gave it to the government who has no money, they loaned it to the government who has no money. Remember that. I loan money to a nigga I know has no money. That is why we have financial crises, because you're taking back something that can't be paid back, right? So think about that. I'm loaning money to somebody I know has no money. I don't even got no money. Like I'm stealing from you, and you don't even know, and I'm loaning it to you, and then stealing from you, and you don't even know, and you gonna be the one to pay back all of them. It's like, what?
Okay, none of us in here right now. We have
So
if none of
that's
us, if
literally
any four
how
of
it
us
goes.
right now don't got no income, none of us got no job, that got no income. You can't walk in the bank and get no loan, nigga. You can't get no loan with no income, nigga. We giving the government, like they giving their damn self trillions of dollars worth of loan. You feel me? And don't have no income. If you don't got no job, you don't got no job. You can't go in the bank and get no money right now. But we giving trillions to the government. What job? What income do they generate other than your tax money? And the tax money that we pay only accounts for a very minimal percentage of the loans and the money that they actually printing and giving out. You feel me? A very small percentage. It's not like we're not even paying half of that shit with our taxes.
That's why the debt grows every year. Like, we can't afford it. Even in tax, so there's actually something called the Laffer curve, where you could raise taxes so high and it'll benefit you. You'll collect more money up until a certain point where niggas is really finna start tax evasion. And now that curve when it curves is you collecting less money in tax revenue, but you keep increasing taxes. More people is coming up with ways to abandon paying their taxes. We are at that moment where you can't tax. There is no more taxing to pay back this debt. There is no more borrowing. We're the most indebted country ever. So we can't borrow. We can't tax. All we can do is print the money. And if we do that, we gonna look like every country ever in the world that has ever printed money. That's a fiat currency. They all went down. Damn.
We need to stack some chips up.
Nigga,
Stack some chips up.
stop doing this stimulus stuff.
Stop doing the stimulus. Bring jobs back to America. Bring productivity back to America. That would help a little bit. You feel me? Maybe if we actually generated, like, if we actually like had like some major
How do we pay back 30
exports
trillion
or
in
had
debt?
some major industries within our own country. You feel me? Like, I always say that. What is the one thing? What is America known for? Like, what is our one? If we have one thing that we just known for exporting, like, what is it?
Entertainment.
Dollars.
Exactly.
That's it. That's entertainment on a global scale. We just talked about aid. If you Google the countries we give the most aid to every year, they are the most fucked up countries in the world. Google it. It's crazy. That's the aid. It's the inflation. It's the rising prices.
Think about what you just
Google
said.
it. It's
What
crazy.
percentage? Like,
It's called inflation exportation. Google it. It's literally called exporting inflation.
What do we do? Just get the money?
Send them the dollars that. Okay, go ahead, Darius. Say what you guys say. I'll respond to that after you say.
Go ahead. I don't even.
Nah, I didn't want to cut you off, so I was like, just rock.
No, because he said, if he said our main export would be entertainment. If you break down your own personal life, you feel me, into a pie chart, you feel me, what percentage of your income are you spending on entertainment versus oil versus food versus, you feel me, actual, you feel me, export, you feel me, if entertainment is your main export, you only spend like 5% of your income on entertainment. So what does that say about your country, you feel me, if that's your main export?
Right.
But that was just a side note.
That's a good
No,
point.
for sure.
But to answer your question, so how we just talked about paper currency, all they do is print money, right? If they print up all that money, it has to go somewhere. They can't give all that money to banks. They give most of it to banks, and the banks lend it out, but they can't give all of it out, because what happens is that money gets spent here. The banks, let's say we printed out an insane amount of money. We're gonna give the banks too much money. We still got too much, but we gave them too much. They gonna loan all that money out, and that's called the money velocity. How much money is being spent, how fast. If there's a lot of money, he got a lot of money, he got a lot, I got a lot, you got a lot, it's a lot of money velocity. We all spending a lot of money super fast. If we was broke, there'd be no velocity in the money because ain't nothing spinning, right? Banks lend the money out to all of us. We start spending. So when the government has too much, they take all of the rest of that and say, look, we don't want to spend that in the economy because now we're going to have a lot of inflation. Too much rise in prices. We're going to take a lot of that money and send it there in aid. Now, they don't use U.S. dollars. They use Zimbabwe dollar, whatever currency. They got their U.S. dollar. They're going to exchange it for their actual currency. But they got so much of it that their currency, they don't have enough of their currency to equal one U.S. dollar. So they got a bunch of U.S. dollars and can't spend them really. So now it's like, now you're in debt. Technically speaking, anybody who owns a dollar bill is in debt. You don't have money. You technically owe somebody else money. If I pulled out $100, I technically am making a claim that I owe somebody else $100. Not that I have $100. That is most evident in other countries who don't use it. So they looking at all this money like, I don't use this and I can't. It ain't enough Zimbabwe dollars. It ain't enough UK dollars for me to get this. So now you just stuck with an unfortunate currency. So now prices get rose because you're trying to collect as much Zimbabwe dollars. If I need 15 and it's 3 of y'all, I'm gonna raise prices to $5 in hopes that I collect 15 Zimbabwe dollars. That way I could take those, go get me a US dollar. Now I'm good. Right? Like it's the well, I said that backwards. Reverse the labels that I put on that. And so I'm trying to get as many Zimbabwe dollars as I want the US dollar so I can exchange it. But if you don't got enough, because it costs so much, you got so many, yeah, you screwed. You rose prices, because everybody's trying to get as much money as they can to exchange it, but you can't. That's a financial crisis in itself. Like that's what happened in South Africa. That's what's going on out there. Like it's like, how do you avoid this? We don't use this currency, but we can't get it. So we have to keep rising prices to keep up with as valuable as that currency is. Our currency isn't nearly as valuable as that. We can't make enough of ours to equate to that. The more we keep printing of ours, that money Zimbabwe dollars only getting spent in Zimbabwe. So if you got hella Zimbabwe dollars, that's inflation, right? Too much money chasing too few goods.
Too few goods.
Like,
exactly. That is the definition of inflation. Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Remember, niggas can print money all day. You can't print labor. You can't print that hat. That hat came from somewhere and cost some money. Somebody worked hard to make that beanie. The government just printed money. So if they just print money and everybody has just printed money, all of them niggas is trying to chase what was really made. Bunch of fake niggas trying to chase something real. There's only one real thing. If we all jump for that cup, only one of us can get that cup. Once that cup is gone, y'all all got too much money and that supply is no longer there. So now you got a lot of demand and no supply. That's a financial crisis. Too much money chasing too few goods. There's nothing there. So yeah, look more into it. It's actually crazy. We do it to every small country in the world.
Zimbabwe going through that right
inflation,
now.
exportation,
Zimbabwe
it is
going through
crazy.
That right now in
We do it to Venezuela. We did it to European countries. Like
Venezuela going through that right now. That's really bad.
So think about that. As bad as we've blown up multiple economies, that literally should have happened to America. The reason that everything is sweet here and we don't got no inflation is because we keep sending it elsewhere. So imagine when that's not the case. Ain't no more sending your dollars here no more. Imagine if the world ever gets to a point where they're not using US dollars even nearly as much. Even if it goes down a little bit, that money the difference in that will get sent back here. So if the world uses US dollars less, those dollars get sent back to America. That only means higher inflation for America. The world will move on to a better currency and get rid of its US dollars. How will they do that? Remember, the only way you can get US dollars in countries is by buying government debt. So if you bought it, you're going to sell it back to the government. The government has no chance but to take it. Right. It's immediately in our economy. If the government takes it back, we immediately have inflation. The split second niggas say, I don't want these dollars no more. That's all it takes. That's why cryptocurrencies look so sweet. It's like we are on the fringe of the world being, I don't really want this no more. It's not about war. It ain't about our debt. It ain't about nothing else. Does the world want dollars as much as they used to? If the answer is even no for a couple countries that hold a lot of it, we see higher prices here.
I think they for sure will want dollars.
Yeah, the world will, but it's about who wants it. China been selling bonds since 2014 and has only increased in sales. Russia said that they're going to stop buying our bonds. So you got the biggest countries in the world not loaning your broke government money. you can't go get more money out of other governments that are also broke.
I think we'll get out of that to where.
Like, it solves itself through something bad.
Yeah, American innovation and American,
Ain't no innovation.
We're gonna grind it out.
We will. The government won't fix that problem.
Our businesses, our American businesses, and our American
the people will. Our government will be fucked, and that we can't fix those problems. We will recover from them though. Like we are the bright minds that move the world. It's never the government. So when the government gets into a problem, nobody is going to innovate out of sovereign debt crisis. Like when that hits, there is no getting out of that. It's coming. We gonna be back to the wall and go, okay, we gotta fight that.
What are three things, if you can name off the top of your head, that America are innovators of right now?
Innovating?
Yeah. What are three things that come?
Historically or like right now?
Right now.
Like three industries?
Three industries
that we're number one.
That we are innovating. That we are the pioneer of. We are at the forefront of.
Damn near nothing. Fashion. If that, we might be second to a lot of European countries.
Yeah,
like,
I was about to say, not even Italy and shit like that. Like,
nothing really.
Businesses. I would say like businesses, like just
what, like such as what?
You got some of the biggest businesses in the world. Apple, Amazon, Tesla, like Berkshire Hathaway. You got great American businesses in ingenuity and innovation. Capitalism, like that's what we bring to the table for sure. Like just that capitalism mindset. I would say that.
I would say. I'd say we've historically been good at marketing.
No, right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well,
that's what you asked, right?
Including right now.
Including
right now, even though we might be on the downward spiral of this, but we're still in the upper echelon of like marketing and social engineering. Like, I feel like America is good at making it look like everything's okay.
Right.
When, as we just went on for about an hour and 15 minutes, like shit is not okay here.
Right.
Like, we're all in debt, like on the brink of war, and we're not on the brink of war, but like we're good at being diplomatic and shit like that. And that's not even like an innovation in itself. That doesn't really make money. It just makes losing money slower, you know?
That's a good way to say it. That's true. I like that.
But yeah, other than that, education, we suck.
Terrible. I was about to say, I thought you just had to say that's one of our strong suits.
No.
I mean, I guess.
Well, actually, a lot of.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue that point. I'm gonna say something else.
I'd say our top institutions are at the top, like the Cornells, the MITs. Those are at the top.
I'd agree with some of them.
Because other countries come here to our MIT and our Cornells to get educated. But other than those, like across the board, education we're ass. Like healthcare ass, everything.
I'd say
we just fight better than niggas.
I was about to say that our military is still way better than the rest of the world. Like, we could get into the aspect of the cyber attacks, but America, like, I was literally, it's funny you said, I literally was about to say our military.
I wouldn't even say like fighting better. I say we just have bigger guns and more.
Bigger guns, more powerful guns, more people willing to shoot them.
Yeah.
You know, China, they have the most people, but a lot of them are old. They not ready to go up. You know, like Japan, another one of the biggest countries, they old. Like
they not fucking with the guns. Like,
like we got that advantage.
With the shit, like
right.
The center.
They come with the kung fu.
Right.
Martial arts. That shit blew back.
Nigga, what? Kung fu.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it'll get greedy.
We coming with that shit, 50 cows.
But yeah, that's it.
We spend
really.
a lot on that.
Like, yeah, we increase it every year. It's the only thing that goes up in budget spending every year.
Yeah, okay. Over the course of a long time, over a 20-year period, do you think it's more beneficial to invest in your military or your education over the course of 20 years?
Education.
Okay. You gonna expound, or you gonna?
There is something called the East Asian Miracle Model, which shows how the poorest countries in the world at one point in time all was in Asia. Well, like 5 of the top 10, shit like that. Like some of them are scattered amongst the world, but that area is known to be poor. You know, like we would call the West Side where the black people live. Obviously, black people live everywhere.
Right.
They live on the West, though. You know, like we know that, or the
Central-
North.
Central-
Yeah.
Over the course of, I forget how long.
You said over the course of 20 years,
20 years,
what's
yeah.
better to invest in, education or
That's a good
military?
question. That's a good
So the reason I say the education is because, so in the East Asian model, they use their central bank to do central guidance, where they take all this money and they choose how much money we finna put here. We're not giving it to banks to guess and all of that. We finna dedicate this much to build this, that, and the third. That's all they did. They did it for more than 20 years, but to get to 75 years, you had to have done it for 20 years. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they started that in 1973, maybe 1970 or 73, some shit like that. They started forward guidance where they started shifting the economy around. So China,
1973.
yeah. China today has single-handedly, you can Google this, they brought more people out of poverty and into wealth than any country in history ever.
You said by spending more money on education,
Yes,
and they started doing this when?
in the 70s. So they did this by buying, they actually bought a lot of U.S. bonds. And with that money, they started building their economy up. They started building factories. So in regards to the education, I guess I'm being general in terms of what you're educating. But as long as it's education, yes, because when they built schools, they taught people. Remember, they were poor. The China used to be the #1 user of opioids. Who was supplying them? Britain. You can Google that. Britain, the UK was the #1 supplier of pills in the whole world, and they were sending them directly to China. China was almost, the average person in China was a drug addict at the start of the 1900s. You can Google this. Google the Chinese opiate crisis. So think about it. In a couple of generations, they went from crackheads being passed out in the middle of the street, literally. They're already poor, even if they wasn't drug addicts. Already poor and homeless, broke, all of that. You went from poor to the #1 country in the world. Now, I ain't even talk about the military, but we know China has one of the largest militaries in the world.
That's why I be seeing Chinese people out here. Like, you gotta have some money.
They smart as fuck. They got the hustle in them. They do everything. They're #1 at everything. How though? They didn't. Now, obviously, eventually you start putting money into your military. But what were you doing to turn from poor to wealthy? You focused on education. You educated everybody. You said at the very minimum. So they did something where they stopped. It's called feudalism, where niggas, they all farming, they all sharing land and shit like that. So if you made the most money, we bust down all of that equally and split so that nobody moving forward. That's like the bullshit of communism. Like, can't nobody really move forward. They stopped all that shit in the 70s. They're like, nah, nigga, if he eat more than you, that nigga eat more than you, nigga, step your hustle up. But what did that do? That made you hustle more. So now you getting a free education, you got a fire in you to get off your ass and grind more than that nigga. Well, you did it then, right? So now by 2020, by 2002, I think they increased their purchases of government bonds, which means that they had more money to do it. They was making more money, so they used that to go buy a more valuable currency. So now they rocking. Fast forward all the way to 2022. They probably are the #1 economy in the world. We can debate that in some senses, and others only we #1 in this. We know China is the most intact. They got their own issues. They got a real estate crisis. They got a banking crisis. But who is more worse off if our housing crisis or their housing crisis? Ours is worse. Our bank crisis or their bank crisis? Ours is worse. So yeah, they fucked up, but if shit was to hit the fan for both of us, they'd recover a lot more smoother because they sell a lot more shit, they make a lot more shit, they got a lot more smarter people, they got a lot more average wealth, wages are higher there, the quality of life is better there. So like everything is going well there. You know what I'm saying? But how did that start? Education. So that's why I would stick to that. If China, think about it, there were 5 billion, however many billion niggas on China, all of them on average were poor and drug addicts. When our moms were born, the average Chinese person was dirt fucking poor. Yeah. And now they're probably the smartest people in the world. They probably have the best education in the world, probably have the smoothest running banking sector in the world, probably have the smoothest running economy in the world. They got the best trade routes in the world. They got the best trade deals in the world. That's a fact.
Because everything starts with education.
It does. That's why I was like, I'm probably being a little more general. I'm not thinking of high school. I'm thinking of educating any fucking thing.
In the 70s would be what, our parents? So
our parents, yeah. My mom was born in 73.
That'd be us coming up dirt poor and they just in school.
Being poor as, like, not even like we worse. I mean, like homeless, broke, poor, starving, dying of starvation, drug addict. Like literally, Google it to see how bad it was. The average, there are billions of them. For the average to be this bad, imagine how that looks. Ain't no stores, ain't no gas stations. Like the gas station dude is high. Ain't no school teachers. Like ain't none of that. They're all in the middle of the street getting high. That's literally how China looked in our parents' lifetimes. You wouldn't even fathom that now because China to be China.
And they military strong now, everything.
They could hang with us. They lose physically. They can hang.
It's gonna trickle down into all of the other shit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You feel me? You're gonna make smarter investments in the other areas. Like if you invest
it
in
come with that.
first, you feel me? Now instead of just buying our military 50 times more ammo, now we buying like one drone. Now you feel me? We didn't invest in education, so we got engineers and shit that made this one drone, this one, you feel me, missile detection thing or whatever that's gonna keep the whole country safe. You feel me?
Right.
Like we investing now in that when it comes to the military. We investing in that instead of just buying every soldier 50 times more ammo than what they already had. You feel me? Like we're playing smarter now.
Right.
It's a different game.
Yeah. Plus in the military, like you don't want to use that stuff. So if we invest into stuff that we're essentially hopefully not planning to use, then that's just dead money. But if you invest in education, then hopefully you'll see a return on that.
What does investing in education, what that look like to y'all?
Building schools.
Everything.
Like you
from every level, because he said he wasn't thinking about it on the smaller, like on the younger.
Not exclusively
level,
that. Like a K through 8.
On every level, I'm building
colleges,
whether it be free college education, whether it be you feel me, just investing in the research and development that goes on at these universities and schools and that shit, like all of that. Everything.
But if everybody, we all crackheads, how we learn it, like how the kids learn it.
Niggas stop being crackheads. Well, okay, then we don't leave them to their own vices. That's the point of like how he just brought up diplomats and shit like that.
I get how you said the free schools would work.
Like, but what I'm saying is, there's always a country that's willing to help. You know what I'm saying? No, so it's misleading to say China did what they did by themselves. Just like it would be misleading to say America became America by itself. Everything about America directly came from the UK, Britain, and France. That is a fact. From politics, government, books, school, whatever you can name. Do you know the Pearson that makes all our books and shit like that? Yeah. That's a German company. That's a European company, and they make every educational aspect in America. You have never read a book that was not tied to Pearson, and you don't know who the fuck or what the fuck Pearson is, and they come from Europe. And they have touched every aspect of everything you have ever looked at in an educational sense came from them. That's a fact. Google it. It's crazy. It's like, what? Google McKinsey. McKinsey is one of the largest research firms in the world. They're not owned by anybody American, though. They're owned by these niggas. Like, it's shit like that goes, wow. So y'all control the research. Y'all control the books, the libraries, news, the everything. Magazines that you find at Walmart. All of that shit come from them niggas. So that's it. I forgot what I was saying to say that, but
what would it look like? Well, that was your original question.
Oh yeah, so go back to that. But so I was saying that everybody has help. That was my point. So a country gets that help. Somebody comes there and goes, damn shit fucked up. We gonna do XYZ for y'all and get y'all together. So I'm sure at its very start, I'm sure at some point in this was like in the 1910s and shit, 1920s, that was fucked up. I'm sure somebody there was like, okay, we're gonna implement some programs to get niggas off drugs. I don't know about that, but I'm logically that had to have happened because niggas ain't on drugs no more, so I don't know that to be true in terms of a date or a specific event. I'm just logically concluding that, but I do know that every country that goes from fucked up to not got help from somebody else. So you get that guidance, go, hey, you need to start building schools over there. You need to start building something over there. China did that in a lot of African countries where they got Wi-Fi, they got electric lines, they got telephones, all that stuff. Somebody came and said, damn, it's fucked up. We're gonna do this right here, do that right there, so y'all niggas can benefit from shit like that. I think that's what happened that's what happened for China. I'm sure somebody American, somebody Britain got their delegates together. Like Hillary Clinton was a it's not a delegate, it's a something for like I think it was Russia too. She was like a something diplomat for Russia. Ambassador, that's the word. So basically they're gonna go there and say what we think. We had this discussion as Americans, like, look, nigga, China need this, they need that, they need this, nigga, it's fucked up over there, nigga, did you hear that? All right, literally, that's what happens. You go over there, let them know these things. Okay, cool, boo, 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 boo. That's the point of, like, the IMF, the World Bank, all of that, how you brought up SWIFT, and they're the niggas that use SWIFT. How they sending all that money for what's exactly needed. Right. They send niggas over there to go find out what's needed. Oh, they need this, that's gonna cost about $100 billion. All right, IMF cut that check. They implement that shit, start rising. Simple as that. So that's how it starts. Somebody goes and points out what's fucked up and fixes it. You need to get off drugs. You're dumb. You need education. Well, at that point in time, in the 70s, we were the smartest people on earth. You know, we were the most productive. All the whole 70s, we lost the manufacturing strength of America. We had it in 1970. It was completely gone by 1980. You can Google that. Who gained it? Niggas that didn't have it in 1980, miraculously did have it in didn't have it in the 70s, did have it in the 80s. Who was that? China. So we literally taught them how to build shit. Literally, that's factually true. Everything that existed in terms of us being able to produce shit, we gave directly to China, lost it, and they used it and bossed up and became China. That is a statistical fact, a historical fact, an economic fact. That is literally true. We showed niggas the game and they outdid us. Because there were more of them than us. You know, like, that's the catch-22. You show niggas how to be better than you. There's too many of them, so collectively they'll be better than you. We're watching that fight for power right now. Just like Germany, UK, and it was a fight for power. Then World War I happened. Germany got up again, like, I thought we was done. World War II happened. Knocked niggas on the ass, niggas finally stopped. America need to get knocked on its ass. We're at that point where it's a fight for power. Like, not literally, but it gets literal. It's kind of crazy.
I've been seeing the memes about Germany like finally being on the right side of a world war type shit.
Yeah. No, how many times we need to lose? Like, that shit hurt.
They picked the right side, now they pick sides.
They will never go against us again.
So,
go ahead.
You was talking about, did you say Britain was exporting opioids?
Britain. All of it was coming from Britain. The UK, all of that is one nation. Yes.
Was this like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like black market or was it
no,
like
bro? It was
private sector.
Think about it. It wasn't. Who makes it illegal to do drugs? The same niggas that can make it legal to do a drug. If those same niggas are on drugs, who the fuck is gonna make it illegal to do a drug? All of this was happening legally. The UK was sending how they used to be sending slaves to here. They sending full boats of drugs directly to China, straight to China, free. Ain't nobody said nothing. Directly to China. Google it, bro. Google it. Google it. I don't know how long of an opioid crisis this was. It might have been 50 years. It was long. It was definitely over 10. I can guarantee it was more than 10 years. They were fucked up going into the 1920s. Mathematically, that's at least 20 years of them being fucked up. It started in the 1800s. You can Google this stuff. So that's at least 25 years that they was fucked up for free. I mean, legally, like at no cost. They were just sending this. You can Google it. All of this, none of this was black market. Only doing it a little bit. Every big boat maker in the UK, whatever, was sending drugs directly to China.
Does U.S. send drugs to anybody?
We get them a lot from China.
They
make all our
we're the largest
pharmaceuticals,
importer of drugs, right?
Importer, yeah.
China send us a lot of drugs.
Yeah. All of our drugs, every pill we got come from China. Who they learn to get them from?
Legally, yeah, all the illegal shit.
I told you, show niggas the game, they do it better.
Legal and illegal shit from everybody. Shit, we not. All that fentanyl, that's coming from Mexico. You feel me? The good drugs coming from China. You feel me? Like we importing shit. We not
Nicaragua.
Did y'all see the
we importing shit.
Segway that kid had overdose at Segway
On fentanyl? What?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Segway's
Crazy.
Segway.
I'm not surprised.
Dang.
We was talking about last Vegas.
Vegas school.
Shit, Vegas.
Yeah.
High school in general. You feel me? It's more crazy. Middle
They
school.
wild out. It wasn't like this. See, we had our own version of bad. Like, I remember
bad in a good way.
Yeah, I remember my older sisters. Like, how older is your brother than you?
My oldest brother
Yeah.
is 10 years old.
How old is your oldest than you?
Like 7.
So they went to high school at the same time, and you're what, 5? 4?
5.
Yeah. So mines are 6 and 7, and they all used to talk about. By the time I got in high school, they all used to tell me like, "Bro, y'all bad." Like this, that, and the third. Like we didn't have to do it. And it's like it's crazy how our big siblings saw high school as just a smooth, simple thing. Now they still had people that died. They still had tragedies, but it wasn't nearly as normal as when we came up. It all became just totally fine. I remember going to high school. That was right when Craig Ranch first opened. Remember how hot that park was when it first opened? There were 5 shootings at that park every day for years. Years. It was like every day somebody is dead in the middle of the skate park.
Brand new
Like,
skate park.
what? This park just opened. It's one of the biggest parks on the West Coast, and somebody is already being murdered every week.
Because it was happening. Like, this local.
They're there.
Shooters
Yeah,
for
like they're there.
Like,
Shootings for sure.
niggas came from C-Strand, went from C-Strand.
Man, right.
You feel me?
Man, 10 minutes down, 5 minutes down the street.
That's all they have. That's all they have.
Right back making it hot.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. You gotta be careful, man. Craig Ranch.
Man.
Yo, but that motherfucker up
Didn't they like
middle
throw
of high
sand
school,
in
that
it
shit
at
was-
one point? They're like,
Did
we're
they?
just gonna shut this down.
I don't even know.
Filled it with sand.
I mean, when it first
Probably,
opened,
yeah. I was about to say probably. It
I
was
wouldn't-
They did
literally.
shut it down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Closed it
Yeah,
down.
that's probably
They
why.
had
Yeah,
enough.
that's
right.
You can't give y'all
That's
nothing.
when it first opened.
Now it's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool. Now
Yeah, it's
That was like
okay
some
now.
family shit, you feel me? Like,
Oh
they
yeah,
be
you
having
can go
all
play
the-
volleyball.
They be having all the little events and shit, movie nights and shit in the middle
Man.
of the park and shit. So it's cool now. It's cool now. I don't go on Craig at all. Though.
Facts. I don't even acknowledge Craig. Like,
Right.
that ain't even a street to be.
Yeah, I don't know. When the last time I went on Craig? For real. That's how that shit go though.
Man.
I feel like this whole episode was dedicated to Russia.
It was, but it was a
But
serious topic.
I mean, I'm saying
It's
that's at the
relevant.
forefront of what's
Yeah, it's happening. You know,
today. Like
it's up.
that is the news.
It was whispers for
That's what-
weeks. Now it's up.
Yeah. Putin was playing his backhand. You feel me? Like we not really invade. We not really like going to war. We just about to perform a little exercise. We just about to go check on something.
A
real quick.
military operation.
Yeah, we just about to go check on them real quick. Make sure they cool. You feel me?
I think that's why China had an issue with it too. The fact that you look like, oh, we only doing this. But
China had an issue with Russia.
When China first came out and said that they were on the side of not extending where NATO was applied. Through that, they're obviously siding with Russia. They didn't come out and say we are on Russia's side if there's war.
Yeah.
They never said that.
We
They were
have
like,
a
look,
aligned interest.
like how I was talking to him. If America was in Russia, if America was in Europe, they probably would have let it rock. They like, look, y'all can't make that call on this turf.
Right.
Not y'all. If it was anybody else that was on this turf, maybe they could make that call. Y'all are too far. Mind y'all business. Let them rock. China did also say, hey, try to make amends. I can't pronounce his name. Xinjiang. From China, yeah, the leader of China. You know who I'm talking about. Xi Jinping, yeah. He outright said he wanted everybody to get on the phone.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah,
It's something like that. It's XINJIANG, something like that.
That was bullshit.
He took the name. That shit. Now, I believe he is correct. Too tall. Let me stop. China don't play that. Yeah.
That's y'all.
Yeah.
If I was wrong, you can let me say that now. If I was
Right,
wrong,
I'm sorry.
then my bad.
Right.
It was you feel me being honest.
Facts.
That's on the bullshit.
But yeah, like, what was he saying?
We was talking about man, what were we just saying about?
How China said to make amends.
Oh yeah. So
Oh,
they really
China.
was pushing like, look, get on the phone, let's solve this peacefully. They not even necessarily they're not even saying like don't take over. But the report I read, they was just like
Play that G.
But they were definitely like, hey, like let's try to get this handled, you know. So I appreciate that they at least was willing to acknowledge Russia's probably going about this the wrong way, and we don't support that.
Right. I feel like that's the consensus amongst all the countries. You feel
Yeah,
me?
and that's why I said it was big that they even spoke out. Like,
Cause like I said earlier, they have been violating like the Geneva Convention and shit,
Yeah.
like the you feel me, the set rules of war and shit. shit like that. Like they have been violating shit. Like
Facts.
there is no way you should be directly bombing residential areas or civilians. Like they've been going they've been going crazy. They done bombed residential like condos. I done seen tanks running over civilian vehicles.
I saw one lady. She survived. She was an old lady. She survived. It was crazy. Her car was like smashed. Like dog.
Bruh.
Knocked her out of the street in her car. Like.
Like so, yeah, they directly, you feel me, going against the rules, but what's like if niggas not really stepping in, like rules is only rules if they enforced.
Facts. Yeah, that's a fact.
You feel me? So if niggas not really gonna step in, like y'all gonna do what they wanna do.
Facts.
So like I said, like you feel me, prayers for Ukraine, but if push come to shove, they gonna take Ukraine. Like if it's just up to them, they gonna take Ukraine. It's not gonna be nobody that say nothing against that. Like that's just gonna be what it is. Like we gave y'all aid, we tried to support y'all, but they won. They took y'all over. Like we not really about to go step super heavy for y'all like that. Like never. So like Ukraine for the. Like, they got that.
That's a fact.
No, we was talking about earlier how the Ukrainian president, the only real nigga in the whole situation. Like I thought that was funny. Like he the only one who really out there.
When he told him like, well, we need guns or bullets or something.
We can help y'all. We can help y'all leave. We can help y'all evacuate, send some planes or some shit. Like
he said, I don't need a ride.
Yeah, that's what he
I
said.
don't need no ride. I need some riders.
What's happening?
Alright, we about to ride. We stepping on it. I respect him for that, but
that'll make me want to be like, all right.
If your leader like that, your leader nigga, Joe Biden not fighting nothing, nigga. Push come to shove, niggas really run down on America. Like,
see, that's not how.
Joe Biden, nigga, George Washington was the only real nigga president the U.S. ever had, nigga. That's the fact. He the only real.
Well, he rolled first, then got elected president.
But
he rolled. That's a fact.
You know, and if Bush would have came to shove, why he was president?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Been right back.
That's a fact.
Like this is all I know. Like I'm a general. I'm a real general.
Facts. That's a fact. I had never thought about that. He was.
But if you really think about it, what is the actual definition of the president? Like what is the
military? That's it.
You feel me? Exactly. Commander in chief. You supposed to be with the shits.
That's
eliminate.
That's crazy.
That is the definition of that role. You are the leader of the military. That is your role. You feel me? Like we got checks and balances.
Right.
You feel me? The president, the way they glamorize the president is just being the leader of the country or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not actual. You feel me? Like we got checks and balances. We got 3. You feel me? Different branches that really determine how shit goes on. You feel me? Like your job is the commander in chief. You supposed to run.
Power.
That's your power. That is your power.
Facts.
That is your power. You feel me?
Can't nobody tell you nothing when it come to them troops.
Ain't nothing. You can't. The last, however, 40 whatever presidents we
That's
had,
why
none of them.
Ukraine went on martial law, and it was like, now is what we say, military, like.
Right.
But that's how it's supposed to be when the president is actually like the commander in chief. If America went on martial law, it's a problem because our president, whether it was Trump, Biden, whoever, you're not really like a general. You're not really about to like. You're not really like running the military like we need you to.
You got
you asking other niggas.
Yeah. Advisories. You
asking other niggas for help. Like he just studied for the test.
You're right. You're not declaring martial law so that you could run shit the way you declare martial law so you could sit back and let the military
get some time.
You're not really like spearheading the movement. You feel me?
Like this the plan. This what we doing.
Yeah, George Washington was the only real nigga who ever been president.
That's a fact.
Like Obama, none of these niggas would have been on the front line. You feel me? None of them. You feel me? Like on some street shit. Don't ask me to do no shit that you wouldn't do. You feel me? Like
that's a fact.
So do you think America should get back to that as far as presidents? Like, yeah, they salute the troops and whatever. Like, but do you think the commander in chief should really be in the trenches with the soldiers, like really present?
You're not gonna be on the front line like the president.
No, not front line, but of course, like
I'm outside. I'm here. I'm not fleeing my country. I'm not.
President.
You feel me? I'm not fleeing my country. I'm gonna stay in here and fight. How can you command that fight out of somebody else if you yourself?
I'm saying as far as I doubt any airmen and air analysts that shook the president hand right now, like how many of them like can say that?
I bet
you.
like the
That's what I'm saying. Like,
nobody, like
do you think our president should be more involved with our military to where he know, like, you get what I mean? Like,
No,
I see what you're saying.
As far as the leadership to where, like, all right, now I'm really ready to ride.
It's a large scale
If some
operation
shit
to
go
the point
down.
where I understand that you're not shaking every
Everybody's
soldier's
hand.
hand.
There's too many people.
Like you're the commander in chief. You feel me? You're not my unit commander. You're not my. You feel me? Like
yeah, them niggas gotta know everybody on this premises. Like
you're the commander in chief. You don't. I'm not tied to you as an individual. Like I'm running the whole military. Like my decision making is not for you as an individual. My decision making is, you feel me? I'm gonna have to send this many people. Like I know this many people gonna die. This many people we expect to win. You feel me, to make it. But I cannot as a commander in chief be tied to you as an individual in the military. I can't. Like I cannot. That's just it's you feel me? It's backwards. It's not. That's just not how you can't make proper decisions like that. You can't make objective decisions being tied to every individual. So I get that. But fleeing the country is a whole different thing. Like you fleeing the country to somewhere else and trying to tell us or tell the military somehow to conduct ourselves from over there. Like that's false. That's you feel me? That's not official. Right. Not official at all. You feel me? Like. Putin rolled out. Putin, he not in Moscow, you feel me? Like, his video of that nigga, his convoy leaving the area, you feel me? They probably went somewhere way east in Russia or something, you feel me? Like,
he probably in New Jersey right now.
Somewhere, you feel me? Like, somewhere.
In America, kid.
He not there.
Right.
He not there. So, yeah, the president of Ukraine, salute to that.
Yeah,
salute to him. Even if he not out there busting his gun, he there.
He got a vest on and the helmet.
He look like he doing something.
Yeah,
like he big. 100%. You feel me? Look like he doing something. Look like he doing something.
Right.
You feel me? Spray, you feel me?
Shoot that vest on,
right.
Right.
Do something. Shoot something.
For real.
Shoot something. Yeah, that's.
No, but I feel like that's making them go 100 times harder.
Bro, that's why, like I said earlier, like, you don't fight for nobody who's not fighting for themselves. I'll fuck with Ukraine, like, despite all of the other bullshit surrounding it, just the shit I've been seeing about how they really, truly care for their country and really willing to lay it down for their country. Like, I can always fuck with that, you feel me? Like, I can always support that. Like, y'all really care. Right. You feel me? Like, Afghanistan, what happened in Afghanistan, they laid it down within a day or two, you feel me? Like, we not even trying to fight. Like, we surrendering, you feel me? We killing ourselves. We whatever. You feel me? Not to them niggas in Ukraine is going up. Like they shooting shit down. They shooting jets down. Shooting cargo planes down. Like I just seen something this morning. They shot down a cargo plane. One of them like paratrooper planes. Mm-hmm. And they said if that shit was at full capacity, that would have mean they shot down 150 paratroopers from the Russian military. I'm like, shit, do y'all shit.
Right.
Do y'all shit.
Putting those stats. Stats on the
But like I said, that dude, the president of Ukraine, he does a report every day. Every day, at the end of every day, he does a report of the reported casualties and shit from their side and whatever, and what they assume that they did to the other side. Like, he on the front line every day on the TV, like, we took this many losses, we knocked this many of them down, you feel me? Like, Ukraine is not going out bad. This is not Afghanistan. So I don't want to paint that picture like, I don't know what the general consensus is from the public, but Ukraine is not going out bad. Like, them niggas is really holding it down out there. Like, they fighting for their country. Like, we was talking about the boxers, from the president to these world-known boxers that's really out there holding it down. Like, we gonna fight to the death. Like, you gotta kill us. You gotta take this shit. I seen a video on Reddit of I forget what that shit. It's like an island, like an island, a Ukrainian island. You feel me? Like where Russia ran down on them, had it surrounded. The boats and shit. They on the speaker like, we suggest y'all surrender. Just come out with no weapons. Surrender. You feel me? Surrender the Russian Federation or whatever we is. You feel me? Bro got on the loudspeaker right back. Like, go fuck yourselves, you feel me? Then they blew the whole island up. It's on video. It's on Reddit. Also on video.
Yeah. With 13, the island with 13 people on it.
You feel me? Blew that shit up. Them niggas got on the speaker like, go fuck yourself. Like, we not surrendering nothing. Go fuck yourself. They blew that whole shit up. Them niggas died. You feel me? Heroes. Like, you feel me? For what they believed in. If you standing on what you believe on, I could always fuck with you. You feel me? I don't give a damn. Like, I'm in total support of Ukraine.
I don't know shit about Ukraine.
Right.
Bro,
Niggas, like, I'm not gonna pretend like I knew all about Ukraine before this conflict.
Before this beef,
but,
right.
But you know, niggas be acting like they just
right,
like,
knew everything
y'all
about
been
the
saying
whole time.
Ukraine,
Being
y'all
right.
saying, y'all not saying
Got
that
the sticker
Ukraine.
on their car and all
Right,
that.
you feel me? Like, I'm not gonna pretend
I heart Ukraine.
Pray for Ukraine.
Right.
Nah, by any means, no.
Like, I'm not
But
gonna
they got some money
but
involved. I'm not. So
I see how much they care about their independence. So you feel me? I'm with them.
Right.
I'm with them. Am I gonna go out there? Am I gonna catch a flight? No.
Facts.
You feel me?
Man, but man, all the headlines look like they giving Russia the work, man.
They out there killing Russia. They out there blowing shit up. It's documented. That's the one thing I really wanted to get into that about this war, about how it's documented, bro.
Yeah.
Like we've never seen this. Like, I don't know if y'all been, y'all know I'm gonna keep saying I've been on Reddit. I've been seeing all of the videos like of the actual war, like the actual footage. Fuck the headlines and CNN and shit. I'm looking at the actual footage from Ukraine, from the Russian soldiers. You feel me? Like niggas in the trenches, niggas getting shot at on Facebook, on video, Instagram Live or whatever y'all using. You feel me? Like niggas busting at us, but you feel me? Like we got to, you feel me? We going in. So I don't know. That's the craziest part about this war to me is how like it's just being documented like on a day-to-day basis. Like you really seeing
it's being brought to you live pretty much.
And I think that's gonna have a long-term effect. Like I think like it's always time in between world wars and shit like that, but I think this gonna have a real effect on how people like the how you want to say like the like people's like proactiveness towards preventing war. You feel me? Like. Because we be being able to see it with our real eyes in real time right now. So you feel me? It's gonna be very hard for the next motherfucker to really push your country or whatever to war. You feel me?
Go through that, right?
Even right now, before it even started, the Russian civilians, they don't want this shit. Right. They know what's up. They don't want this. Like they not in agreement with Putin, but
I seen protests.
He a dictator. He Putin been president for how many years? You feel me?
I seen protests for sure.
Right in Russia, they arresting thousands of people in Russia on a day-to-day basis. Anti-war protesters.
Anybody speaking out.
You feel me? So we blessed to be in America where we got freedom of speech and shit like that. But shit, will we really even have freedom of speech if war really came to our home front? Like, will we allow motherfuckers to be on some anti-American shit? I don't know. But as the Constitution stands, we got freedom of speech and everything like that. So y'all can mess with that. But yeah, I don't know, bro. Russia, it's going crazy out there right now. We really being able to see it like on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
I don't think any war has been like
televised,
right in your face like this, dude. For sure. It's damn near
live.
It's damn near live. You're getting an update every few
facts. It is live. Just niggas going on Instagram Live and shit recording the war.
The president speaking out, giving
daily updates. That's from Trump. That shit come from Trump. I don't give a fuck what niggas say. That shit come from Trump. Niggas was no president from no country was in niggas' face on an everyday basis talking about nothing before Trump. You feel me? Like now presidency is a celebrity position. You feel me? Like nobody, bro. Nobody was on in the public face.
I agree with that
on a day-to-day basis, giving updates on daily shit like that.
But I think Barack Obama was the one who turned it into a celebrity position. I agree with you though about Trump being the one to kind of run with it. But
Obama wasn't on Twitter every day. Like
he wasn't, but Twitter also wasn't a thing. This was 2008. He couldn't have been on Twitter. Twitter existed. It wasn't a thing. That's the difference. Like niggas was on MySpace.
So to that point, you think if somebody other than Trump got elected, when he got elected, we would still be in the space that we in now with presidents.
Wait, ask that again.
If it wasn't Trump who got elected at the time that he got elected, would we still be in this space where it's common for your leaders to be on social media or on TV on an everyday basis, giving you updates?
Kinda. It's not that it's been a thing, but I'd agree that Trump took it to a level that nobody else did.
The only presidential shit we got before was the State of the Unions every here and there. Playing speeches.
That's what this thing. Only because of this.
From a president on a day-to-day basis.
That only because of this. Trump ran his mouth about big and little shit. Trump was on the internet talking about Kanye West LeBron James is trash. He was tweeting about Lil Pump. That's different. Because one, he has social media, and two, he was talking about everything. All the other presidents, they kind of talked about major shit.
So much
but
about
it
the
wasn't
content versus just the
but
exposure.
but I'd say Bush was a very, you saw or spoke to him, and obviously we wouldn't have known this as kids. This is something I had to go back and learn.
Right.
His face was seen a lot. Remember, he didn't start off as a bad president. He is voted the worst president in history because of the second half of his presidency. He actually started out as a great president for about 3 years. Niggas was loving George Bush. I was about to say that's why he got reelected. Niggas was loving him. He was a person that, he wasn't a celebrity, but enough people liked him and tuned into what he had to say. He talked more. I say Obama made it a celebrity thing.
Reagan was an actor.
Trump took both of those and made it higher.
Reagan was an actor before he was president.
I'm gonna agree with Darius. I'm gonna agree with Darius as far as this being so active in the everyday shit.
Yeah.